There comes a moment in life when silence speaks louder than words. You have felt it. The wait, the pause, the moments where your soul whispered, "There is something different about me, but I cannot explain it." You have walked through seasons that felt lonely, but not because you were unloved. You were simply being separated, set apart for something greater. And though you tried to explain it to others, they never really understood. They heard your words, but they could not feel your calling. Because it was not meant for them, it was meant for you. This message is not for everyone. It is for the one whose heart has been aching for meaning. It is for the one who kept showing up, even when life felt heavy. It is for the one who has always been sensitive to energies, who feels deeply, who dreams differently, and who walks with an invisible strength. You may not have known it, but you were being prepared. Every delay was divine. Every shift was sacred. And every closed door was actually heaven's protection. So if this message found you today, take a moment. Breathe. Listen. Reflect. Because this is not just a video. This is a confirmation. A reminder that everything you have been through has shaped you for a higher purpose. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be. And if your spirit agrees, comment 777 below to declare, "I am ready to walk in who I truly am." Your story is not ending. It is just beginning. And you are not alone in this journey anymore. There are people in this world who always felt like they were standing just a few steps away from the crowd. Not fully in it, not fully out of it, but somehow separate. If that has ever felt like your reality, then this message is meant for you. From a very early age, you might have noticed that you were not like everyone else. While others were quick to follow trends, you questioned everything. While others were comfortable in loud gatherings, you often felt more connected in silence. While people talked about what they wanted to become, you were already wondering why you were even here. These are not ordinary thoughts. These are signs of a deeper calling. You may have been that child who observed more than you spoke. The one who sensed people's emotions without them saying a word. The one who often needed to retreat and recharge, not because you were weak, but because your spirit was carrying more than most could see. Many chosen ones go through life with this silent awareness. You feel deeply. You love intensely. You think far beyond the surface. Yet, the world around you does not always celebrate that depth. Instead, you may have been misunderstood. Some may have said you were too sensitive, too quiet, or too distant. But the truth is, you were never made to fit into a world that was not built for your purpose. As you grew older, the gap between you and the world may have widened. While others rushed to build careers or follow routines, you kept feeling that there was something more, something unseen, something divine. You questioned the ordinary. You felt restless in repetitive patterns. That restlessness was not confusion. It was your spirit reminding you that you were born for something beyond the surface. Being chosen does not always begin with a grand moment. Often, it begins with seasons of silence. It begins in moments when you are left out. It starts when people you care about begin to walk away, not because you did anything wrong, but because your light began to reveal things they were not ready to face. The truth is, being chosen means being prepared differently. You may have noticed that while others were praised quickly, your path took longer. While others received support without asking, you had to learn how to stand alone. But that solitude was never punishment. It was preparation. It was your spirit being trained to carry something greater than what the eye can see. There were likely moments when you felt invisible, even in rooms filled with people. You tried to explain your inner world, but words often failed. You sensed things, energies, intentions, even warnings, but had no proof to show. That inner knowing is not imagination. It is intuition. And for the chosen one, it is one of the most powerful gifts. Many chosen ones experience what feels like emotional stretching. You feel pulled between wanting a normal life and knowing you were never meant to settle. You carry dreams that feel bigger than your current reality, and at times that can feel frustrating. But that tension is not meant to break you. It is meant to build you. Just like muscles grow through resistance, your calling grows through pressure. Perhaps you have wondered why your path seems harder, why you had to overcome more, wait longer, and carry more responsibility than those around you. It is not because you are being denied. It is because you are being developed. Every delay is shaping your character. Every detour is refining your discernment. Every disappointment is clearing the path for something better aligned with your purpose. You might have noticed that you often become the helper, the healer, the one others turn to, even when you are the one who needs support. You are the strong one in many rooms. But strength is not just about carrying others. It is about understanding when to rest, when to release, and when to rise again with renewed clarity. Sometimes your deepest transformation happens in private. The chosen one's journey is not always loud. It is sacred. It is filled with lessons that the world may not understand, but heaven honors completely. You were never behind. You were being hidden for the right time. And as you move forward, you will notice that things are shifting. Your awareness is deepening. Your spiritual senses are sharpening. You are no longer trying to fit in because you now recognize that you were set apart. You are not here by accident. Your soul was assigned with purpose, and every chapter of your life, even the confusing or painful ones, has been part of a larger divine design. Your uniqueness is not a flaw. It is a fingerprint of the calling you carry. So if you have ever felt distant, different, or disconnected, understand this. It was not rejection. It was redirection. You were never meant to follow the crowd. You were meant to rise from it. This is your reminder that you are not alone. There are others who walk this path, silently, spiritually, and with strength. You are one of them. You are seen. You are guided. And your purpose is unfolding exactly as it should. Every calling carries a cost. Every divine purpose begins with a sacrifice. And when you are chosen by God to carry something powerful, the price often begins before the reward ever arrives. The moment your light is recognized in the spiritual realm, your path shifts. It does not always begin with blessings. It often begins with battles. Because what is inside you carries influence, and anything that carries divine influence will attract spiritual resistance. You may have noticed it early on. People began to pull away from you without explanation. Conversations started feeling different. Those you once called family or friends no longer felt safe. But this distance was not punishment, it was positioning. It hurts when people you love begin to treat you differently. You may ask yourself, why do I feel pushed away when all I have done is love purely? But here is the truth. The moment your light begins to increase, it will expose what others are not yet ready to heal in themselves. Being chosen often means being misunderstood. People may accuse you of changing, becoming distant, or acting superior, when all you have been doing is growing. You are becoming more aware. You are hearing deeper. You are seeing through layers. And when you grow spiritually, the space around you also begins to shift. Then there is the internal price, the loneliness that comes when you realize you can no longer go back to who you used to be. There is a quiet ache in your soul when your heart no longer aligns with old conversations, old habits, or even old environments. You begin to crave peace over popularity, stillness over noise, and truth over comfort. This is the sacred cost that the world does not talk about. The chosen ones often walk through silent seasons, where God removes distractions, resets your spirit, and teaches you to hear His voice more clearly. Can feel isolating, but that solitude is where your power starts to rise. You may have also felt it physically, in your body, in your sleep, in your energy. There are days when you feel completely drained, even after doing nothing outwardly exhausting. That is not weakness. It is spiritual sensitivity. Your spirit is discerning, receiving, and interceding, even when your mind is not aware. The price also appears in delayed dreams. You may watch others succeed faster, gain more applause, or achieve more recognition, and you may wonder why your efforts do not seem to produce the same results. But chosen ones are not built on the world's timeline. You are not being denied, you are being developed. And what God is building in you requires deeper roots, not just quick branches. There will be moments when your heart breaks silently. You may cry in secret because explaining the weight you carry feels impossible. You may ask, "Why me?" Not in rebellion, but in surrender, because you feel the pressure and you feel the responsibility, but you are still learning how to carry both with grace. Here is something sacred to understand. God never gives heavy assignments to weak vessels. If you were called, it is because you were trusted. If you were chosen, it is because there is something inside you that can handle this path, even when it does not feel fair, even when it feels painful. This path is not about perfection. It is about purification. It is not about fame. It is about faithfulness. It is not about being praised. It is about being prepared. The cost may look like unanswered prayers. The cost may sound like silence from heaven. The cost may feel like waiting when you want to run. But every cost is building spiritual strength. Every delay is growing discernment. Every lonely night is making room for divine connection. Eventually, you will begin to see why the separation was necessary. You will realize why you had to walk alone for a while. Because in the space where others left, God began to speak. And what He gives in the secret place, no one can take from you. So if your life has felt heavy lately, if you have been losing people, changing environments, and walking a road that feels uncertain, then understand this: the price has begun. But that means the purpose is also rising. You are not losing, you are being aligned. You are not being punished, you are being prepared. You are not breaking, you are becoming. This is the sacred exchange, where pain gives birth to wisdom, where silence becomes strategy, where surrender opens doors that no one can shut. The price is not easy, but it is always worth it, because at the end of it, you will not just carry power, you will become it. There are seasons in life where everything looks normal on the outside, but deep within, your spirit feels like it is in a battle. You smile in public. You show up for your responsibilities. You answer messages. You do what is expected of you. But behind that outer calm, something sacred and invisible is happening inside. This is what many people refer to as the silent battles of the soul. Chosen ones often go through these spiritual battles long before they even understand what they are fighting. You may feel physically tired, even when you have done nothing exhausting. You may feel waves of emotion come over you without warning. Sadness, pressure, heaviness, and you do not know where it came from. You may even begin to question your thoughts, your choices, and your clarity. These are not ordinary moments. These are signs that your spirit is being refined and that you are under spiritual warfare. When you are chosen, you carry a light that reaches into dark places. That light becomes a target for energies and forces that do not wish for that light to expand. You may have noticed that the more you pray, the more resistance you face. The closer you move to your purpose, the more distractions try to pull you away. This is not failure. This is proof of your alignment. There are many types of spiritual attacks, and they often show up in quiet, personal ways. You may suddenly begin experiencing disturbed sleep. You may wake up at unusual hours. You may have dreams that feel confusing or heavy. Sometimes it feels like you are not alone in the room, even when no one is there. You may feel drained after being around certain people. You may begin to notice that your peace is affected by places or conversations that never bothered you before. This sensitivity is not weakness. It is spiritual awareness. Your soul is learning how to discern what is safe and what is not only in the physical, but in the spiritual realm as well. Silent battles also come in the form of isolation. There may be a season where no one checks in on you, where you feel emotionally disconnected from people you once relied on. It may seem like no one understands you anymore. This isolation is not meant to break you. It is meant to build your inner strength and your direct connection with the divine. In these moments, you will begin to rely more on your intuition. You will begin to hear your own inner voice more clearly. You will learn to trust your own judgment because you are no longer being distracted by external opinions. There are times when you will be misunderstood for being quiet or distant, but only you will know that this quietness is not withdrawal. It is spiritual recovery. It is the silence needed for growth. It is the solitude needed for recalibration. During spiritual attacks, you may feel tempted to react, to prove yourself, or to fight back with the same energy. But chosen ones are not called to react. They are called to rise. You are being trained in these moments to respond with wisdom, with patience, and with spiritual maturity. You may also feel the heaviness of ancestral burdens. Chosen ones are often placed in families or communities to be the cycle breakers. You may notice that you feel called to heal what was never healed before you. That is why your path feels more intense. You are not just walking for yourself, you are clearing the road for generations to come. And that is a sacred responsibility. Sometimes your silent battle is not even your own pain. It is spiritual weight you carry because your soul volunteered to help shift an entire lineage. Your life becomes the answer to someone else's silent prayer. But even in these intense seasons, remember this: you are never alone. What you feel may be invisible to others, but it is visible to the divine. Every tear, every tired night, every quiet surrender is seen, and it is counted. And when the spiritual pressure feels strongest, that is often a sign that you are closest to a breakthrough. Because pressure always comes before birth. Resistance always comes before revelation. Warfare always increases when you are about to rise. So if you are currently walking through a battle that you cannot explain, if you are feeling spiritual weight that others cannot understand, take heart. This is not the end of your strength. It is the beginning of your transformation. The fire is not meant to burn you. It is meant to refine you. The pressure is not there to stop you. It is there to prepare you. And the silence is not empty. It is sacred space for divine guidance. One day soon, you will look back and realize that your strongest growth came from your quietest battles. And your greatest victory was born in a season where you felt completely unseen. That is the way of the chosen. Their strength is not always loud, but it is always deep. Their battles may be silent, but their rewards are sacred. Keep going. You are being strengthened for something extraordinary. There is a moment in every chosen one's journey when the confusion begins to clear. After all the trials, the silence, the rejection, and the spiritual heaviness, there comes a quiet awakening. It does not always come through a loud sign or a dramatic miracle. Often it arrives through a simple realization that none of it was ever random. You begin to look back, not with pain, but with purpose. Suddenly, the betrayals begin to make sense. The isolation no longer feels like abandonment. The slow seasons now seem like divine pauses, not delays. This is the beginning of divine understanding. You realize that what felt like separation was actually preparation. You see that every closed door was a redirection towards something higher. The people who left were not part of your destiny. They were part of your development. And the battles that once broke you are now the very things that shaped your strength. It becomes clear that the struggle was not meant to destroy you. It was meant to wake you up. Your spirit starts to recognize that what was once seen as pain is now seen as power. And where you once asked, "Why me?" you now begin to say, "Thank you." You begin to sense divine timing. Everything you once questioned now carries a spiritual meaning. Even the delays become beautiful because you realize they protected you from what was not aligned with your calling. The people you thought you needed, you now bless from a distance. The opportunities that passed you by, you now release with peace. Because now, your soul knows that what is for you cannot miss you, and what misses you was never truly meant for you. Your heart begins to settle. The anxiety fades. The urgency to prove yourself disappears. Because divine understanding brings peace, even when circumstances are still shifting. You no longer chase answers outside of yourself. You begin to listen to the quiet voice within, the one that was always trying to guide you, even when the world was loud. This is not the end of your challenges, but it is the beginning of your wisdom. You are learning how to walk with purpose, even in uncertainty. You are learning how to trust divine timing, even when the path is unclear. And most importantly, you are learning that your life was never falling apart. It was falling into alignment. When divine understanding enters your heart, it changes how you see everything. The past no longer defines you. The future no longer frightens you. And the present becomes your sacred place of peace. This is the shift. This is the moment everything begins to make sense. Not because life is perfect, but because your spirit is finally aligned with purpose. After the storm settles and the darkness begins to fade, something beautiful starts to rise within the soul. It is not always loud. It does not always come with applause or recognition, but it is real. It is steady, and it is divine. This is the reward of God, the quiet rise that follows the season of deep pain. When you have walked through fire and did not give up, when you have carried the weight and still chose to be kind, when you have cried in silence but continued to show up with love, heaven takes notice. God does not forget what you have endured. Every tear, every sleepless night, every moment where you felt invisible, all of it has been recorded. And when the time is right, God begins to lift you. The reward is not always material, although blessings will surely come. The greatest reward begins within. It is the peace that no one can steal. It is the clarity that no confusion can shake. It is the confidence that grows not from ego, but from knowing who you are in God's eyes. You begin to move differently. You no longer chase what is not for you. You no longer argue to be understood. You simply walk in truth and let your presence speak for itself. This is elevation. This is what happens when the pain becomes purpose, when the burden turns into wisdom, and when what tried to break you becomes the very foundation of your strength. God will begin to place you in rooms that your name was once left out of. You will receive opportunities that no one saw coming. And the people who once looked down on you will now look up, not because of pride, but because of divine positioning. But the reward is not about being above anyone. It is about being aligned. It is about being where God has always intended you to be, whole, healed, and walking in the fullness of your calling. The rise after the pain is sacred, teaches you grace, it humbles you, and it prepares you to bless others from a place of true understanding. So if you are still in the season of breaking, hold on, because your rise is being written, and when it comes, it will not be rushed. It will be righteous, it will be divine, and it will be unstoppable because it will be God's doing. You, the one reading or listening right now, this message is for you. It is not a coincidence. It is not an accident. It is not a random moment. Your spirit was guided here because you were ready to receive something deeper. You may not say it out loud, but your soul has been asking questions. You have been searching for clarity, for confirmation, for something real. You have been walking with silent strength, carrying burdens that no one sees, holding on to faith even when answers did not come. This moment is not just a message. It is a reminder. It is a signal. It is a spiritual appointment that your soul made before your mind even knew. You are not here by mistake. Everything you have walked through, every loss, every shift, every lonely season, was not meant to harm you. It was meant to align you. You have been growing in silence. You have been fighting in the spirit. You have been elevating without even knowing it. And now, heaven is speaking. The pain did not break you. The rejection did not erase you. The delay did not stop you. Instead, it made you more powerful, more discerning, more aware of who you truly are. You are not just a survivor. You are a vessel. You are a carrier of light. You are someone chosen to make impact beyond what your eyes can yet see. You do not need to prove your worth. You were already approved in the unseen realm. This is the moment to stop doubting yourself. This is the time to stop shrinking. This is your sign to rise, not just physically, but spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. God has not forgotten you. He has been preparing you. He has been clearing out the noise, removing what was not meant for your destiny, and building you into someone who can carry what others cannot. So if this message has touched your spirit, respond to it. Do not hold back. Let the atmosphere shift around you. Say aloud, I receive this word. Declare, I am ready. Comment below with 777 as a sign that your soul agrees, because this is not entertainment. This is divine alignment. When you respond in the natural, heaven responds in the spirit. Your time is not coming. Your time is here. This is your confirmation. You are chosen. You are called. You are protected. And you are about to walk into the chapter that everything has been preparing you for. Welcome to the rise. The world has not seen the best of you yet, but heaven always has. You have heard the message. You have felt it in your heart. Now, this is your moment to respond, not just with words, but with intention. If your spirit agrees with everything that has been spoken today, type 777 in the comments right now. This is more than a number. It is your declaration. It is your signal to heaven that you are ready. Ready to walk into your purpose. Ready to claim your divine identity. Ready to rise without apology. And if you feel led, support this divine mission by using the Super Thanks feature below. Your seed helps this light reach more people. Your generosity allows others to hear the same message that just moved your soul. This is not about money, this is about movement. This is about awakening souls who are still searching for the light you have now received. Now, close your eyes for a moment, take a deep breath, place your hand over your heart. Repeat after me, Father, I receive what you have spoken. I accept the calling on my life. I will not fear what is ahead, because I trust who walks with me. Let this be my confirmation. Let this be my shift. I am ready. I am chosen. I am rising. Amen. Your journey has only just begun, but now you are no longer walking alone. Let the rise begin.